let's talk about the Morel magic because he really has been a spark plug. Like Tuesday and Wednesday's games were significantly better ball games just in general. Sure, the Cubs lost on Tuesday, but I'll tell you right now, there was no energy at the ballpark on Monday. It was a really weird day. Like they just felt flat when they came out. Plain
Yeah.
and simple. Stroh pitched his ass off to no avail because the team just did not have any energy. Morel steps into the lineup at least Tuesday night. They give him a fight, and then Wednesday, obviously the big big blowaway win there on getaway day, and right before an off day that we're enjoying today. I mean, how do you quantify the Morel magic at this point? As I guess where I'm kind of trying to go with this here.
Yeah. I don't know if you can. Like, I really don't know if you can. I don't know that kind of impact that he can bring just from an energy standpoint, morale boost, uplifting type of energy with the play itself. I mean, the guy was like the best AAA hitter or the best minor league hitter. So, I mean, and he hasn't missed a beat at this point, getting brought back up and truly excited to be here as he's, hugging security guards or you guys, had talked about and hugging everybody, basically. Nothing but a smile and a big fist pump and yell as he's running around the bases. And he's so fun to watch. He needs to be in the lineup, I think, every day. I think every single day that he's here, you find a spot for him. I know Wisdom is technically the leader on the team in WRC plus. So that's kind of where you're trying to configure where the holes are on this roster that he can play, right? Because when Nico comes back, it's Nico at second, hands down. Wisdom with the power, you would like to see that in the lineup, but I think you can kind of shake things up a little bit and say, all right, and as hot as Mancini has been, I think you've got those four guys there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got four guys between Matt Mervis, Patrick Wisdom, Christopher Morel, and Trey Mancini that you can kind of toy around with a little bit as far as third base and DH and first base, but you can also spell some guys and give some guys the day off via Christopher Morel. I mean, Bellinger hasn't had much time off, right?
Outside of having a baby.
Yeah, I mean, right, yeah. So he did have a little bit. I mean, but Hap hasn't had much time off.
No, Hap's had like maybe 2 off days this whole season so far. Maybe.
And maybe that like led into Nico Horner's injury a little bit too. Like,
true.
I mean, the guy, he's been hurt in past seasons and he hasn't played really a full season to this point as good as he's been the last couple of years. And, we know what kind of talent level he is at second base, but you would like to see him get the more off days and crack him, by the way, lock him, by the way, fuck him, by the way. But dude, I think Morel gives you that, even if he's a DH, right? He can be DH sometimes, and I don't mind that. I think
he DH'd last night.
And I think just keeping that bat in there, it's big. Like, this is a guy that was ready. That's why I was saying it when I was in Utah, and I made that little stupid video from the Salt Flats of Bonneville, Utah. The Bonneville Salt Flats.
Sounds like the name of a minor league baseball team.
Yeah, it probably should be. The Salt
Bonneville Salt Flats.
The Bonneville Salt Bees. Salt Flats. Morel, man, I was saying it. I was like, he's ready. Like, look at the success he had last year, right? I think the strikeout rate with him, and I know this is something you guys have talked about on previous shows, and a reason why he was kept down, and I agree with you guys. I think they wanted to see him get the everyday playing time down there. But the success that he showed at the big league level, yeah, he tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season. But spring training, he was hot. He was pretty hot in spring training. He played his ass off like he wanted to be there from day one in spring training. And getting sent down to AAA, that's like, all right, I just need to do what it takes to get back here. And I think even in his own words, he pretty much said so much like, I made it, and the guy was tearing the cover off the ball. He's had the success where I think that's kind of always who he's going to be, Ron. I think he's going to be a guy that maybe strikes out a little bit too much, but the walk rate obviously improved at the minor league level.
Yeah.
And if you're a guy that's going to hit for power and hit gap to gap and doubles and triples, and if you get one of those a game, especially in a key moment, I'll take that all day long. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the guys that get hit streaks are so impressive because you don't get a hit every day. Now nobody gets a hit every day. It doesn't happen. And I'm not saying he's going to have a hit streak or anything like that, but remember when he first dropped on the scene, what was his streak that crazy, was it on base streak or hit streak that he had?
I think it was an on base streak. Yeah.
I mean, he's that type of fire. He's that streaky type of dude that I feel like can really carry a roster, carry a lineup when he's rolling. And right now he's rolling. You don't take that guy out. He's like a Patrick Wisdom type. Wisdom had his little time off, just comes back with a home run. I think you probably try to do what you can to keep those guys in the lineup. And that's going to make it tough with Matt Mervis now, talking about that, which, I really want to see him play every day too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what we do here, Rod. It's a good problem to have, but I don't know what we do here.
It's a great problem to have. And, but it comes down to them making the right decisions. And I'll tell you what, I know Madrigal's had his moments. He's played overall not atrociously this season. I mean, he hasn't been great, but he hasn't been horrific either, right? He's getting the job done at times. Some days he has a bad day. It is what it is. But, like, we're almost getting to the point now where if you're the front office and you have a vision for what this team looks like on the field, based on what you have on the 26 man currently, like, you got to Billy Bean some of these motherfuckers and, like, either trade them or, like, send them down.
Yeah.
And, like, take the decision out of Ross's hands. Because I know he wants to try and diversify the lineup, and I get it. But, like, at what point does, like in this stretch, let's say Nico ends up, like, retweaking the hamstring and goes on the IL. I'm knocking on wood. Currently.
Yeah, knock very hard.
I promise, because I swear to God, if that happens, I'm gonna be slaughtered on Twitter. But
Ron has to wear another mankini if that happens.
Please no. But, like, why would you give Madrigal more run at second base than Morel, for example? Right? Madrigal's actually looked okay at third. Truthfully,
Yeah, he's been fine defensively. Yeah,
I have had to eat a lot of words about Madrigal at third. I remember when that whole experiment happened, and we were all like, "Is he even going to be able to, like, throw to first from third?" And he's actually looked good. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's kind of fun watching him put every ounce of his effort into the throw. But, like, he's getting it done. He's been athletic. He made a nice diving stab the other night. Like, but and to I know to Scott's point, he jokes we have to keep double play machine Hosmer. Like, there is going to get to a point here with some of these guys on this roster where, like, their time has run its course, right? Like, how much does Miguel Amaya have to do in AAA Iowa? And I know you and Nick touched on this last night, until Barnhart becomes potentially expendable, right?
Right.
When how much, what does Mervis have to do now that Mancini's been hot to essentially shoo Hosmer off the roster? Because if you're only keeping Hosmer for his glove, I can make the argument that Mervis has looked just as good defensively at first base as
if
Hosmer.
not better. Yeah.
Like, he's made a lot of picks that probably most, minor league first basemen or just other not strong defensive first basemen probably don't make. Like, he's looked really good over there. So it's a lot of what ifs. But again, back to the original point here, right? It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem when you have too much talent on the roster and you don't know what the fuck to do with it. And I would rather have that problem than the complete opposite, where you have to trot out Rafael Ortega every day in center field, right? Like, we've done a complete 180 in terms of the construction of this roster from 2022 to 2023.